following her on it. She's in it a lot. Yeah, definitely. But yeah, you're right. That courtyard, there's all many things going on there.
It's hilarious. Just the way she's all roughing with the dudes, and then she just kind of gives her that look like, oh.
Yeah, you need more clothes on, lady.
I'm not sure this is working.
Something a bit more, like just the way she says that.
Yeah.
I know.
And ask her about what kind of corset is that? Just scrolling. It's a brassiere from France. Crack it up.
We may or may not be working. Okay, now I think we're working. I apologize. My fault. I did not set this up properly because what can I say? I don't know. Maybe I should quit. All right, this is my last video. I'm going to quit because I keep making Dobie mistakes today. It's a Monday. Any rate, yeah, we've been having a great chat, and so I thought I'd invite you guys to join the live chat, those of you out there ready to watch, and then realized I hadn't set anything up for this chat. So we're lucky we have people. We're going to be trying to talk about season 1, episode 2 of Outlander, and Claire coming to Lollybrook, and they were just talking about how fun it is to see like them get home. They because the rest of them, they're just coming home. And exactly. Mrs. Fitz is just, I want to meet Annette just so I can go, hi, I'm here, and she can hug me and welcome me back.
Yeah, I just think it's cute how she just is all up in the boys and how you guys doing and fussing around with the guys, and then she just looks at Claire and like, who are you? I mean, her whole demeanor just changes. Like, really? Who's this?
Yeah, exactly. Very, very quickly. Although she earns some love from Miss Fitz in short order, I think, because of the treatment she's giving to Jamie. Right. And you were talking about getting her dressed. Because and what'd you say?
Like how she's all naked. She's kind of like I can't dress myself. Damn.
Yeah, that's. But Miss Fitz wants to get her dressed because she needs to wear a bit more. A bit more. Yeah,
I like the way she says that. You need to get you a bit more. Well, a bit more. Yeah. And what kind of? She goes, what kind of corset is that?
Yes. It's a brassiere.
From France.
It cracks me up.
Oh, okay.
Very cute.
She came up really quickly about that. It worked out very well.
Yeah, I have to give credit because Diana wrote Claire in a way that makes her a lot quicker than I think I would be in that situation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I would be like, I don't even know if I can tell her if it's a bra. And I wouldn't say brassiere. I would have been like, it's a bra, bro.
The brassiere from France.
It's from France. Oh.
It's very cute.
Yeah,
it's a lot better than what you have on.
What's that?
It's a lot better than what you have on.
Yeah, I know, right? All that stuff on it. And then she starts getting her dressed piece by piece. And I just never understood that whole bump roll thing. What is that about?
I was just going to say that.
I don't understand it.
I mean, it's the same reason I color my hair purple and you chose those glasses, Jackie, and I mean, it's just the fashion. It makes a lady because you got a big rear end. So, I
just never did understand
I think it's so that it won't show the shape of her behind because they're supposed to be modest and covered up.
That's probably it.
What's the purpose of those?
Well, I was going to say I don't need it because my butt already sticks out. So
yeah.
I got a big butt. I don't need that. I guess I never understood what the whole point of that was.
Jamie makes a comment while she's on the ship with him later in the series that seeing the wind blow the skirt against her body was rousing.
It's true.
And so that's the whole point is, so you can't see the shape of her lower body.
Oh, so they didn't want women to be women at all, huh? Is that it?
Well, because much like today, expecting a man to control themselves if they see like a nipple is just insane. We can't expect such things from men. That's just crazy.
They can actually be.
Meanwhile,
no.
Meanwhile, we can't control ourselves when we get a scene with Sam shirtless. So I mean, Double
Hey,
standards.
we're just evening the odds, Katie, because that's been going on for centuries the other direction, right? Just evening the odds. Just saying.
My daughter, my daughter is 9. She'll be 10 this summer, and she's like, it's hot. If it's hot outside, how come Daddy can wear no shirt and we have to wear a shirt? I go, because those are the rules for girls. And it was just this year that I go, because men can't control themselves if they see a boobie. And she's like, oh, now it all makes sense. So, anyway, double standards. We're very aware of them.
Very
How
double
about
standards, truly.
so they get to the castle. Claire does some rewrapping of Jamie's the shoulder, which he has a gunshot and the dislocation, so good times.
Yep.
And we see this. We get to know these two so much in this episode by their reactions to each other, and
Yeah.
Claire feeling that attraction a little bit and pushing herself back. She's very vulnerable and upset. And I mean, for a minute there, you're like, they're going to kiss. It's too early. They can't be kissing now. And she jumps back and he jumps back. Well, he doesn't jump back, but I think he thought that she was afraid of him. And so he's like, you don't need to be afraid. And I think she was just concerned of this is closer than I ought to be to somebody else. I'm a married woman kind of a situation.
Right.
With a whole lot of
When
other
they're sitting by the
situations.
fire.
Yeah, but
See, that's, I think when the whole attraction starts, when they were sitting right by the fire.
not for him.
Cry about Frank.
I think that's for her, definitely. For him, he admits later that it's when she's yelling at everybody to get alcohol and stuff so she can rewrap him after he falls off the horse in the last episode.
Right. But I think for her, I think that's when that happened.
Definitely, yeah, definitely. Because there is that moment where she's like, you can see him kind of she almost wants to kiss him. Whoa, never mind.
And then they both kind of, because then all of a sudden she remembers that she's crying about Frank almost. Like she just kind of goes, oh, wait a minute. I was crying about Frank a minute ago.
Yeah.
Well, and now I'm all up on this dude.
To be fair, it's a very distracting chest he has. I don't think that I'm married. His name is
his audition scene was that scene right there. Sam's
Yeah.
audition scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny when you see the audition scene and then you actually see the scene. It's kind of cool, actually.
Yeah.
But you can see
Yeah.
why they chose him because his delivery
Totally.
is just beautiful.
It's amazing.
And we
I
also
just
get
looked at
Yeah, I was just saying where we also, because I'm kind of watching it here too. We also get that moment where he describes his experience with Captain Randall, and
Yep,
we
that's where
meet
I'm at right here.
we meet Jenny for the first time, but we don't meet her. We just see part of her story.
Yeah.
I hate that moment, but I love the way that he tells the story.
Yeah.
And how that kind of, again, we get introduced to them so much and the kind of people they are.
Right.
And I'm sorry, I'm talking. What are your guys' thoughts on some of those first scenes here?
Well, he does. Like what I'm watching right now, he's kind of explaining the whole thing on how he got his scars on the back, and it's like in front of the fireplace and doing all of that. And I think that's kind of like, for me, that's where the attraction kind of you just see it just start to happen between the two. And that's, I think that's where I see it.
I don't think I see it on her part, but I certainly see it on his part. He always said he loved her the moment he saw her. And I think when she first helped his arm, she, in the very beginning when I think he was totally fascinated with her.
I think he was correct.
Yeah,
I think this is when
totally,
she starts to feel it.
And he goes, "Oh,
Yeah,
you're a nurse."
yeah.
And she goes, "Not a wet nurse,"
That's funny. That was funny. He looks right at her chest. He's like, "Not a wet nurse." That was pretty cute.
Yeah, she goes, "Not a wet nurse," because he looks at her boob,
Right. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I always think about them meeting at the very first time, and she had no idea. And I don't know if he loved her at that moment, but he was fascinated with her.
Yeah, he was. She was
not
different.
only because she helped him, but she was just beautiful, and she just came out of nowhere with all those rough and tumble, ugly guys, and she,
right,
was totally
and knew what to do right away, which is was fascinating. I think to all of them was fascinated by that.
And,
Yeah, no
And
fear.
that's the main reason why in this episode is why they're all fascinated that she knows that stuff.
Yeah.
and not
Yeah.
to talk
How do you know
about
that? You
And
know,
yeah, and
how
not
do
to
you know
talk
that?
about last episode the last episode, and I don't know if you guys
Okay.
talked about it, but that part where he finds her and he comes off the horse and he's all bloody, and he goes, "Do I have to put you over my shoulder?" Did you talk
Yeah,
about that?
we did a
That
little bit.
that that moment. That's the moment I fell madly in love with him.
Yeah,
Madly in
No,
love. And when I there was just something about him. I thought, I can't believe I'm watching this guy. Oh my
I know.
God.
How beautiful he
And
is dirty. We talked
yeah,
about that, right? Remember?
bloody
yeah.
How
and
can this
dirty.
dude
That's
look
how
so
I
hot
like
and be
him.
dirty?
That's how I like him, bloody and dirty.
Remember that?
I tell you. Oh my God, that scene. And he goes, "Well, then
Oh,
you're
it's
coming with me." You know, and I
ridiculous.
thought, "Yeah, I'm coming with you too, buddy. I'm going to be with you. Let me tell you, I'm not leaving you." Oh,
I
that
love it.
part. I don't. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to go back to that other thing, but I just had to mention that.
No,
But
you're
that's when I
fine.
fell in love with Jamie Fraser.
You
Then
just want
at
Jamie
that
to throw
point.
you over his shoulder and take it. So
Take me
I
somewhere.
understand. It's all good.
He could
It's
throw
all
me over
good.
his
I know, right?
horse. I
All
wouldn't care.
good.
Throw me over the horse. I don't care.
It's funny. I do like the thing that he says to her after that whole little scene. He goes, "Just remember, you're English in a place where English is not a nice thing to be." I just
Yeah,
love that line.
yeah.
That's so, and it's so pointed right there
Yeah.
after that whole
Well,
little scene of them being all cozy.
yes,
He reminds her of who she really is. Remember, this is not a nice place to be English.
because
Yep.
she said,
Not
"What if you're
Yeah.
much.
not with me? What if you're not with me?" And he said, "Well, then you better be careful.
You
If
better
I'm
be
not
Yeah.
careful.
there, you better be
Exactly.
careful." Yeah.
I
Right.
love it.
Right.
Love it. Love Mrs. Fitz. The whole
Oh,
thing is awesome.
yeah.
And then
Yep.
she finally
And
meets Column. Wow, that was an
Oh yeah.
interesting meeting.
and talk about making things up as you go along. That's
Oh,
exactly what she did there, and it's exactly what she did at the table, at the banquet table. She was making things up as she went along. She was really good at it, you know. But of course, I
Well,
didn't believe
Frank
her.
told her to try to stay the closest to
yeah.
the truth as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just change the things that you really don't want them to know, but the further away from the truth, the harder it is to keep that up, right? So if
Mhm.
you do it as close to the truth as possible, you won't have to make it up as much.
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
exactly. And
So
you don't drink and eat while you're doing it, and that's what she did. She was drinking in that Rhenish.
drinking.
Yeah,
Yep.
she didn't know what she was saying after a while, you know.
Yeah.
I do like how they edit in those flashbacks to kind of
Yeah.
explain along. So
Yes.
just cut back for a minute, and then but we're right in the current moment. So I thought
Right.
that was well
How she
done.
that was well done. How they kind of walked her and Frank through the corridors that she's walking through now, and the whole that
Yes.
was kind of
Yeah.
cool how they did that. I like that. So you
And
knew
remember,
exactly where she was compared to
he
where
was
she was like what an hour
yeah.
ago.
Yeah.
Right?
A couple of days
And
ago.
I was here an hour ago with somebody else.
yeah, remember she's going in and she sees herself by the wheel there with the flowers. She sees
Yeah.
herself.
Yeah.
Oh, I just think that's when you think, oh my God, what's going on here? You know,
Yeah.
when I first watched it for the first time, you know, she's
Right.
walking by and she sees herself looking up. And like you said, that hallway, that's a gem. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
And then
Love
she
that.
goes into that room where she was in with Frank, and then she goes in, you know,
Yep.
in the back.
Yep.
Oh, it's just wonderful. Yeah,
Fabulous.
I
Yep.
love the way they did that.
Yep.
That was good editing.
It is good editing. Yeah.
But she
And I
goes to
like how they
columns though, and she figures out when she is because of his
by the
paperwork. So
books.
that's an important moment. So she can situate
Absolutely.
herself and remember
Yep.
which King George it is that's on the throne. Because
Exactly. She had to
And
figure
she
that out,
guessed,
right? Right.
yep.
I like
guessed
that.
right. She did. Yeah,
That was
she
good.
guessed right. That was good too. That was a great part, definitely. Yeah, there's just so many wonderful scenes. The second episode. This was just great. I'll tell you. Every
Yeah, it
time I
did lay a
watch it,
lot
it's
of
like
groundwork
watching
for
it
the
for the
characters.
first time, and
Yeah.
I catch something different that I didn't see before. You know, I don't know how many times I've watched it. You know,
Oh, me too. I know.
yeah,
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
always catch something different.
I think it's nearly 20 for each episode up until season 5 for me. When we get past
Okay.
season
Wow.
5, it's more like 10 to 12 times, somewhere in there.
Well, I
I'm
spent the
only,
time.
well, because, they haven't been around as long.
True. This is true.
I like the meeting of Colin because we find out we've got Dougal, who's like the tough guy, the warrior,
Mhm.
and Dougal and Colin is very educated, very intelligent, and we see that immediately, not only because his paperwork, but because he's got a collection of books. When having a
Yes.
collection of books is a big
Mm-hmm.
deal.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
This whole
Yeah, because
Well,
conversation.
people
Yeah,
could
go ahead,
read
Melissa.
back then, you know?
I say it
Yeah.
shows his wealth too because those were expensive.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And Dougal is such a hothead. I mean, he has no self control.
He
Oh,
doesn't,
he
and he
does.
doesn't like Jamie. I mean, you get that impression kind of from right
Yeah.
away that he really doesn't care
Yeah.
for Jamie.
Yeah,
Um,
Jamie's a threat.
well, yeah, he just doesn't care for him and sends him off into the stables. And he looks at Colm and says, "Do you want to tell me to do something different?" And he's like,
Yeah.
"That's okay." I mean, he kind of lets him do what he wants, even though there's side eyes, like he doesn't really agree with what he's doing sometimes.
Right.
And I noticed that during the Hall thing, that when he was taking that whole beating for Leary, he kept doing it even though blood was drawn. That's when they're supposed
Yeah.
to stop. He did it more and kept doing it more because he doesn't like him. Right?
Yeah.
Because
And
he
Colin just
says,
kind of looked at him like, "Why did you do that?" You know what I mean?
well, because he's thinking when
That was
Colum dies, he'll have power, but if Colum dies, Jamie has a halfway decent shot of being the next Laird, and
Yeah.
and Dougal does not want
Threatened.
that to happen.
No, he doesn't want.
Yeah. Yeah.
I guess I don't get the whole lineage of how their lairds are done. I mean,
I don't
I guess
believe
it's
it's
supposed to be his son,
necessarily by
except for
kin.
until he gets of age, right?
Yeah, I mean, he would at the very
Not
least
hereditary.
be like a regent, sort of, as we would think of a regent for the English throne, until his son met the
No.
age of majority. That's for England, though. I don't know
Yeah.
exactly how it translates for Scottish, but I
Scottish.
don't believe it's not necessarily father and son. It has to be the
No, it
favored.
doesn't seem like it is. Not
No.
how he
It's
describes it.
whoever the current Lord or Laird says is next.
That's
Who?
kind of what I.
Chooses who's next.
He
As
chooses.
long
Okay.
as he's a Mackenzie.
Yeah. The Laird can pick
And he
whoever
does
Right.
he
have
wants.
Mackenzie blood because of the mother, so that would make him
Right.
part of there where he can be layered
Yeah.
if he needs to be.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
okay, that kind of explains. I mean, they did kind of explain that a little bit later in a couple episodes from now,
Yeah.
why he did what he did. But yeah, and so he thought that Jamie was
He
good
can,
as a
he
threat
can
to
do
being
that
layered. Okay,
because
that's why he
they're
doesn't
all
like him.
related anyway. They're always
Right.
related anyway. They're all related some way, you know?
Yeah.
So he
Well,
can
those guys
pick
are because
whoever
it's
he
his
likes.
mother's brothers. Yeah.
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 Exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, and Dougal has. Does Dougal even have? You know what? I'm blanking. Does Dougal have children of his own with his wife? I feel like his wife and kid, daughters. That's
His
right.
daughters
It's
only.
all daughters. I was
Daughters.
thinking
Yeah.
sons, and I
Hamish.
couldn't.
Oh, he did. He had
Yeah,
Well,
one.
he
so
does have one.
Yeah, he
well,
does have
Hamish
one.
does
doesn't
have one.
count. We're gonna go by rule of the land, and
He
that's
has one.
technically that's Column's child. I
Well,
didn't say
well, yeah.
biologically. I
Spoiler.
said technically. So yeah, so Jamie would be the most likely person to have it handed down to if they want to keep it in close family. So
Correct.
yeah, big threat, which is odd because the whole time you see Colum kind of, or I see Dougal kind of protecting Jamie, wanting to get him home, wanting to make sure that everybody's safe. And at the same time, if he accidentally fell down a hole and died, it wouldn't be that bad.
Yeah, I don't think he really would care. I mean, truly, I don't think he
Yeah.
would care if Jamie died or not. Or is it one of those like, you can't hurt my sister, but I can? No one else can hurt you, but I can, kind of thing. I don't know. Maybe that's what it is. I don't
think
know.
the biggest thing is he doesn't want to be found that he's responsible for James getting hurt. That's
Correct.
the biggest thing.
Yeah.
He wants it to be somebody else's fault.
Fault.
Yeah.
And then it kind of just slides right to him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always remember in those games when they're playing, he and Dougal are having it out.
Yeah.
When they all get together, and Jamie
Oh, yeah.
actually pulls him right over his shoulder. Dougal, remember that?
Yes.
I don't know if he really did that, but it looked like he did it.
Oh, was
And
that
there
you mean
a
in the
lot
games that they were talking about?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, when
There
they're
was a
playing the
lot of,
stickball.
The stick
Yeah.
game, whatever
Yeah,
that's called. Yeah.
exactly.
Field hockey?
Shenty? Is it Shenty?
Shenty stick is what they're using. So I guess Shenty's the name of it.
Yeah, there's actually a Scottish game. They actually brought Shenty players to do that scene.
Oh,
And I
did
know we
they?
were talking
Really?
about that.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
there you go.
Yeah, they did it. They taught them how to play the game, and they actually brought shanty players to do that scene because they
Yeah.
wanted to be authentic on how to do it. And I remember Graham McTavish talking about the directors telling Sam, "Go, yep, well, just do what you want to do." He goes, "You should never tell Sam Hewen to do what he wants to do because he was the one actually throwing him over, doing stuff like
Extra
that
shoulders.
on the scene because they told him to do whatever he wanted. And he's like, "Don't do that. Do it's gonna hurt me."
There's an interview too where Sam says that Graham was like he recorded for an hour, he's done and went and sat down,
He's
and so
done.
Sam's still doing it. And Graham's like, I'm done for the day, thank you.
Yeah, where's my coffee? He didn't like to. He's like, "It's cold. I'm done."
Yeah. Well, now I don't know where you are, Jackie, but I'm at the dinner scene. We're having our drunken questions being asked
I
here.
just love she walks in and everyone's just silent and just stares at her as she's walking in there. I mean, literally, everyone stops eating and stares at her, and she's like, "Oh shit!"
It's new kid in
They're all
class
staring
syndrome
at
is
me.
what it is.
I know, right? That's
Yeah.
exactly where I'm at too. That's funny. Yeah,
And
she
Doogie
just
was
kind
the
of then she
gallant
bows
one.
to him,
Yeah, he stood up and he got
and
the
she stands
chair.
up
He
and
was
gives
the
her a
gallant
chair.
one, I must say.
Yeah.
And he stood
Yeah.
up there. And then she goes blabbing around and they keep pouring the whiskey and she keeps blabbing. And then she says to that little kid, "Oh, your father." And then she
Oh, that was awesome. That was awesome.
Yeah.
The look that
Uh,
girl, that his wife gave her. Ooh, you just made an enemy right there, girlfriend.
Yeah.
She just looks could kill.
And the kid was all
you
confused.
know.
He didn't know what was going on.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, she could have played it off as an innocent mistake because she saw him playing in the courtyard. You just say, "Oh, it's your uncle playing with you in the courtyard." Well, you have a very nice uncle, don't you? Yes, you do.
Yeah, she was too drunk to think that up, though.
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
she was
yeah.
definitely in the cups by then to think that up.
But
She
then
was
she
slick
realized
right
they
up
were
until
gonna-
Pouring
then.
it.
Yeah. Well, the foot was so far in the mouth she couldn't get it.
She's like, she'd already swallowed it. Exactly.
Somebody should have offered her a
She's like,
drink.
"Oh, shoot." She's like, "There's no way to dig this shit out now. I gotta go."
No.
She's
That's
like,
what she-
"I think I'm gonna go
Time to leave.
retire early because I don't want your wife to kill me."
Oh God. Yeah.
Yeah, a
Let's
little
go to see
awkward.
what some comments are here. We got Kathy Slavic saying howdy. And Kathleen Holland says hi. Kat here. Hi, Kat. Maureen says hi again. Kathleen Holland says, hey, feeling in love with Claire when she became vulnerable and wept. Yeah, when she was at the fireplace, we were talking about she's just an open sore at that point. Kathy Slavic, so when Jamie takes the beating for Leary. Was
Leary,
it truly for her, or was it to impress Claire? Oh, there's a thought.
I don't know. I guess I never really.
No,
thought
I
that.
don't think so.
You don't
No.
think so?
Yeah, I
Not
don't think
why
we
he
do
did
that
it.
yet. No, not as.
No.
So
What was his core
He
reasoning for
played
doing
later.
that then? Just to save this child he doesn't even know or has no interest in?
because he said that it
Well,
would be shame for
one,
her
it's
to do it in front of
Mrs.
her. The whole,
granddaughter.
yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
They would forgive. They would forgive him before they would. I really think he had her best interests at heart when he did
Yeah.
that. I don't
Yeah.
think it. Had
But you think he
anything
did
to
it
do
more
with
for
it.
Mrs.
That's a-
Fitz than for Leary?
Probably.
The,
No,
the
I think he did it for
explanation
Leary,
later
'cause, yeah,
is that
that's just how perfect Jamie is. What can
No.
I tell you? There's another example of it. What can I tell you, ladies? There it is. He's perfect.
Well,
the
What is it, Melissa?
explanation later is that Jamie got beat or got punished at 16 in the hall in front of everybody like that, and he was so embarrassed that he didn't want the same thing to happen to Leary.
That's
correct.
right. Well,
And
That's
I
why he
and
did
I
it.
understood the not a.
That
So even though he was he's just as Diane said, so perfect that even though it's a stranger, basically he's willing to take the beating to save. Okay, so he's just perfect. Okay, we're glad.
He's just a nice guy.
But
He's a nice
and I
guy.
don't think Leary was a stranger. He did know of her.
Well, no, he knew
Yeah,
her,
he knew
but
of her,
I
yeah.
mean,
aware of her. Yes.
just some kid, you know. I mean,
Yeah.
nobody
Just a kid.
important.
Right.
And then Jan says hi, ladies. Hi Jan.
Jan.
And She found the lady who. Oh yes, I forgot. Jan, I'm gonna tell everybody this, but just since we're all here, Jan found the lady who made the crochet whiskey bottles and gin bottles that they
Oh
gave
my
to.
God, this is
Okay.
hysterical.
We all. I'm gonna put her name up tomorrow for my live, and we all need to go friend her Instagram. If you have Instagram, I know not everybody does. We all need to, and we need to encourage her to open an Etsy shop where she sells these because she will make a killing. It's a very niche market, but she'll make a killing.
I could
Make
not
it really.
believe that. When I saw that, I could not believe
That
it.
was pretty good. I have to admit that was a very
Yes,
I
unique
must
gift.
say, I
I
thought
Very
I
need
was
unique.
those.
crazy.
Very unique.
I
I
have
gotta
I could
shelves.
say,
see
They
him
could
putting
go
those
here.
on his bed. That would be cute. I could see it.
I,
Wouldn't it be little pillows on his bed? I could see that. That'd be great.
I just want to make something that I know is going to be on Sam's bed now. That's a thought that won't leave my
I'm
head.
just
Thank you
saying,
very
they're
much, Jackie.
pillows. Where else would he put his whiskey and his gin? Come on now. Perfect. Pillow on the
And
bed.
Kathleen, Kat, real quick, she points out that Dougal did try to kill Jamie when
yes.
Jamie came
In the
back from
books.
France. So yes, and yeah, we do know that.
In the book,
And
he does. He hits him
oh,
over the
and
head,
Jan,
and he has a big gash from it in the books.
I'm
Mm-hmm.
They
going
don't
back
show
and
any of
forth
that in the
here.
story, and they
No,
don't
they
even
don't.
explain any of that in the story, but it is in the
But in
book.
the books,
and
yeah.
He
how many
does.
times did he try to take Claire away from Jamie? He tried to get Claire to go with him. Remember?
Well,
In
a couple of times he just tried to take Claire, whether it was away from Jamie or not. And then later it was taken away from
well,
Jamie.
Yeah.
he told her that Jamie was dead when he wasn't.
Yeah,
When she
yeah.
met him after she was looking
That's
for
No,
him.
this episode.
that's not this episode, though.
I
Yeah,
have no idea
that's
what you're
further,
talking about,
further
Diane. This is
down the
some crazy
episode here.
story that we.
I'm just trying to prove my point.
I know, you're
And show
good.
you that
You're
I know
good.
about Outlander. That I do know.
Yeah, yeah.
Good. You need to convince us. I don't believe you. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
But you know,
Let's see.
get, I thought I was crazy when I saw all those people waiting in line to see him. Some were dressed like you wouldn't, like they were going to a wedding,
Huh?
all dolled up with makeup and everything.
Oh,
I didn't feel too badly. Now I know there's other people in the world like me who are crazy
Deep.
about Outlander. Or
There are
crazy about
fans out
Outlander,
there.
you know?
There are
Yeah.
fans out there that deep down they think that really all this person has to do is see them and they will fall in love with them as
Oh
much as you're in
no.
love with. That's called
Yeah.
slight insanity, and everybody needs to wake up a bit. But want to present yourself as nice as you can to be memorable. I'm memorable. I have purple hair, so that's all I got to do.
Well, when I say to my kids, about I talk about it, Outlander and everything, they go, "Mom, I'm glad you have a hobby." That's what they tell me.
There you go.
there you
This
go.
is a
I
hobby.
said, "I'm glad you have something. I'm glad you're doing something with your life, Mom. I'm glad you have a hobby." So I guess it's a positive thing,
Yes, if it gives us joy. I mean, my husband's the same way. He's like, "Go do your thing, hon. If it gives you joy,
Yeah.
it makes you happy, you do it."
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not having any more kids for him, so this is what he gets. So we got jumping ahead a bit. We got now Jackie, if you're here with me, Claire and Jamie in a stable. Claire has
Yep.
kind of getting into her not really routine, but trying to make herself useful. She wants to go out
Useful.
and check young McTavish's shoulder, and
Correct.
Mrs.
That's
Fitz
where I'm
goes,
at,
"What?
yeah.
What?" Jamie, yeah, Jamie, and so we get more of his story here as well.
Right. How
And
he became a fugitive.
yes, and how
That's where
delicious
she points out.
grasses.
Yep.
It's
I'm like,
tasty.
ooh,
It's good for you.
how is it tasty? Ooh.
I'm lying. I'm totally lying, Jackie. I'm just teasing here.
Just asking how he thinks it's tasty. Tell me how you think it's tasty. Ew.
Well, he doesn't necessarily say it's tasty, but he does say it helps you
Dandelions.
survive.
Yeah.
Dandelions, huh? Yeah,
Yeah.
dandelions do have a different taste. That's true.
Yeah, dandelions suck. I don't like them.
But then they talk about him, and he goes, "Not many people know." And she goes, "Well, why did you tell me?" You
Yep.
know. And I forget what he said now. He said,
I decided to trust you.
I decided to trust
Yeah.
you. Right.
Yeah.
Correct.
Which is,
Yeah.
very Very nice. There he is.
I decided to
perfect
trust you, he says. Yeah,
yeah.
because he's
He
a
said I
fugitive and
decided.
he's got a
Yeah.
bounty on his head still.
Yeah, but he
Meanwhile,
did tell
Dougal
her
thinks
his
she's a
name.
spy.
Right,
Yeah.
that's correct. Dougal
Yeah.
does think he's a spy. She's a spy.
Oh,
Yes.
that's right. They do. They all think she's a spy.
Yep. He even says that to her because he's got
I
her
think
keep following her around everywhere. What's his name keeps following her around everywhere.
was Rupert and I
Rupert.
always
Angus, that
Angus.
Rupert
Angus.
was
Thank you.
hilarious.
See, I don't know what I'm doing. My names are. I told you it's Monday. I quit. This is my last video. I'm done. I'm frizzing on my brain. But yeah, so we get, again, this is the great episode to just get to know, well, Jamie more probably than Claire, but her reactions to things really help us get to know her too as well, because this is this is a foreign country as far, it is a foreign country to her, but it's a foreign country. And
Right.
her reactions to being followed, to being spied on, and
Yeah.
I don't want to jump ahead,
She gets
but to
very
finding out
feisty
there's a
about that.
change of circumstances is just
Yeah.
beautiful, really.
But 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 she
I like how she gets a
says it to
little feisty
everybody.
when they start following her around. She
Yeah,
starts
she doesn't
almost
take crap
you're
from
asking a lot of
anybody. She yells
questions.
at everybody, you know? She
Yes.
yells at Dougal, she yells at them.
Yes.
Yeah, she doesn't take crap from anybody.
Like, I'm
I
done
think
with y'all.
she's not. And then we get to meet Galis too, which was interesting.
That was interesting.
Yeah,
Yes.
that was
True.
very interesting too.
Get to meet
you know?
Galus. True.
Yeah, because we know that's going to become very important too.
It's interesting
Not
because
at
she
the
talks
time.
about how what she's doing in the garden and things that she's picking, and people think I'm a witch. Do you think I'm a witch? She's,
Yeah.
like that kind of thing.
Well, and she
Yeah.
tells Claire exactly the kind of services she provides, which if other
Provides for
people, like
women.
if she was talking about that outwardly in town, what she normally does,
Yep.
she'd get herself in some trouble.
Yep.
Yeah.
So there's like a relationship, a bond there from the moment they speak to each other. I think whether Galus
True.
suspects anything off the bat or not, she trusts
Right.
Claire immediately. So
Which is
Yeah.
interesting to me because she doesn't even know her. Even though she does say, "Well, let me introduce myself," she goes, "Oh, I already know about you. You're the talk of the town," because she's
Yeah.
already everyone knows who she is already.
News
Don't you
travels
love us?
fast.
You don't need to introduce yourself. I already know about you.
Yeah.
Don't you love a small town? Oh my gosh.
I love. Yeah, I could never live in a small town. I'd hurt people.
It used to be where I used to live. It used to
See,
be
it's like get your nose out of my business.
everybody
Damn,
knows everybody.
It's annoying. I grew up
couldn't do it.
in a large city and I moved to this town with my husband. I grew up in a town where there were like 7 high schools.
Okay.
This one has 1. My graduating class was 550 people. Not even 100 in this graduating class. I'm serious. It
Yeah, I couldn't do
blows
it.
my
Could
mind.
not do it. Couldn't
Oh,
do
it drove me.
Too.
Yeah.
My girlfriend lived in a small town in Walnut Grove, Minnesota. I would go visit her during
I
the
want
summer.
to go visit her.
It was fun. Yeah, I loved, and that was the best part. It was that it was in Walnut Grove, Minnesota. But anyways, I'd walk, drive. We'd go in there, and I'd be there for not even 3 minutes, and the whole town knew Jackie was in town. I was the only black girl there, first of all.
Well, yeah.
And even if I only drove through there and kept driving through, they'd probably had a conversation by the time I hit the other side of the road. I'm like, you people need to mind your own business.
They have a
All
town
things
meeting. Did you
do.
see that black lady driving through our town yesterday?
know,
We sure
right?
did.
Sure did.
I hate to
Couldn't do-
say
I
it, but
could
this
not do it.
town is almost that bad because say all right, I'm gonna make this quick, I swear. We moved here when before I had my youngest, when my middle daughter was like 9 or 10 years old. And it's such a small white town that after about 3 hours here, my kids looked at me and go, "Mom, do they not let black people live here?" I go, "No, honey, it's just a very tiny town, and it's the same 5 families who've lived here for 30 generations." And like when we do have people of color, multiple colors. I get my place and my nails done at a Vietnamese shop. Where
There you go.
we have genuine Chinese food. We have a genuine Mexican market. And yes, we do have black people. But I mean, they were so used to our big city where
Being much more
nobody
diverse.
asked that kind of question. Yes, very diverse.
Very
and
diverse,
and
yeah.
they're just
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
culture shock because there was a lack of culture. That's my story about my small town. Sorry about that.
Well,
Hilarious.
yeah, I'm going to
Hilarious.
just say something really fast too. When I lived in Philadelphia, there were 50 row homes on one side, 50 row homes on another side. You couldn't move. You couldn't do anything without anybody knowing.
Yeah. Drive me
Everybody were
crazy.
all on top of everybody. Everybody knew everybody's business. There was and now I moved to the small town here. But it's still everybody knows everybody's business, even in a small town.
Yeah, I couldn't do
And
it.
and see,
It
I
really
I
is.
have lived in big cities where I never met my neighbors.
Your neighbor,
Thank
right?
you.
I don't.
That's how
I
life
have
is supposed to be.
never met. I do not. I know the people on two sides of me, and that's it. I don't know
Yes,
anybody else in the whole street. I
Yep.
mean,
Well,
that's
they knew
normal.
everybody.
and never see them either.
Yeah,
Oh
I don't
no.
even see them. I mean,
yeah,
somebody lives in a
The
house.
joys of living in a big
Like,
city, girl. The
Oh,
joys
I
of living
miss
in a
it.
big city. No one knows who you are.
yeah.
Miss
No,
it
we
so
knew
much.
everybody.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
All right,
yeah.
we are off the subject. We love our towns
Yeah.
when they're
yes, we
large.
are.
Anyway, so yeah, so where are we now? So let's go to the gathering. Did we miss anything good?
Yep.
We got the gathering.
Oh,
And then
yeah.
that's
I
another
just
one where we
wanted to
get
say
Galus. Go ahead.
Mm-hmm.
about the part where Claire thought she was leaving, and she wasn't. I
Yes.
felt
Yeah,
that
yeah,
that
the
was a
oath taking.
really that was
Yeah,
a great
that's
part. That was a great scene too.
Yeah, cause
You couldn't
Column
help.
says there's a tinker that will be here and what
Yes,
Saturday
yes.
after next, and she has
Hmm.
to clarify the
Yep.
days.
Yes.
So she thinks she's
Yep.
on her
Hmm.
way out,
She's
and she
leaving.
tells
Yep.
Dougal
Hmm.
as much
Hmm.
too when he corners her.
yeah.
Yep.
Yes, she
Yep.
did. Yes,
She
she
does, and
did.
she tells Jamie too. I'm gonna be gone,
Yeah,
in a
Mhm.
couple days. So
yeah,
good to make sure you take care of that shoulder because it's not gonna be me
Right,
doing it because I'm
right.
out of
yeah.
here.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah. And then she goes through that door where she went through with Frank that time,
They do
and
the
there's
flashback again. Yeah.
Colin waiting for her, and we
Yeah.
I for the first time I didn't know what was going on, but then we knew what happened then, and
Yeah.
she doesn't even get sadder, she gets angry,
Yeah.
that's how strong she is. That's what a strong person is. She's so angry. And she said, "What did Dougal tell you about me?" Or
Right.
something. He's blaming everything
Mhm.
on Dougal all the time,
Mhm.
Well, I
I
would
guess
too
he
because
has
he probably
reason
did say
to.
something to him. I
Yeah.
wouldn't doubt it.
And then she
Yeah.
It
runs up
would.
to the stairs, and there's Dougal and Colin really
Yeah.
menacingly standing at the top of the stairs looking at her. Oh gosh, that was good. That was really good. Hmm.
Yeah. So yeah. Her fortunes change on a dime here, but and it's not the true gathering, but it's like a mini gathering because they are going
Hmm.
over issues that need to be taken care of. There's a cow
Hmm.
and a joke, and Gail is
Yep.
trying to explain it. But it's
Yep.
interesting. It's again, I love these because it exposes us to cultures that one don't exist so much anymore, but just other
Right.
cultures to kind of open your eye the
Hmm.
way the world works in other places, which I love.
Right.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, I found that interesting because they all bring their problems to him instead of taking care of them themselves, right?
Hmm.
Amongst their own family. You notice
Yes.
that? That's what you're talking about? Because
Yeah.
I found that fascinating. They're always bringing all the problems. Well, like with Leary, she said that he's telling her the father wants her to be punished and wants him to do it. I'm like, well, you don't take
Yeah.
care of that in your own home. I mean, it's just kind of
Well, I
It's a
interesting.
think
different
that's how much
dynamic. Yeah.
Different type of dynamic.
that's how much he's respected. He's the laird, and that's how much he's respected. Everybody does what he tells them to do.
Well, he's
What
also
he,
kind of the law.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
that's true.
That's kind of what you get from that is that he's kind of like the law, right?
mm-hmm,
Yeah.
Yeah.
mm-hmm,
True.
definitely,
Yeah.
yeah.
Definitely the law of the land.
And then that little scene where who hits whose foot? I always got mixed up with that. She's
What
teasing
scene is
him
that?
when they're eating dinner.
That's not
I
this
thought,
episode.
No, it's a
oh, it
different
isn't.
episode.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's a different
Next
episode.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you
that's
I
guys
think
when
that's
can
next
tell.
episode,
yeah.
actually.
And that's
Maybe
between
next episode.
Marta and Claire, isn't it? Like he's trying
No,
to
no,
tell
no,
No, that's
no.
not
between Jamie and Claire. That's
Hmm.
Jamie and
Yeah.
Claire. But
that's
Jamie.
that's
Jamie
next
and Claire.
episode.
That's
Yeah.
right, because his lips are swollen from kissing Leary. That's
Yeah,
right.
that's
Yeah.
next. That's a couple episodes from now. Yeah.
That's Oh, I thought that was this
Spoiler.
episode. My bad.
Nope, that's a spoiler alert because
I
that's
was
not this
watching the
episode. Yeah.
other episode.
I'm sorry, but if you don't know that this is a spoiler thing, then I don't even know what to tell you guys at this
Well,
point.
this will tell you. Spoil, girl. Go ahead.
I'm pretty sure the
I'm jumping the
30-day
gun.
rule is over. So
It's over.
I like 10 years and a few months. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
That's
but yeah,
hilarious.
so we I'm getting myself off track here. It's interesting though, but he's the law. This is how they settle things. Jamie gets his rear end kicked because Leary kissed somebody, but she pays it back for that later. And yeah, we have. Let's see here. I'm gonna go quick ahead, and of course Claire's there to fix his boo boos. Fix his boo boos
Yeah,
and make sure he's okay.
yeah.
And Miss Fitz is grateful for it. And again, I think this is that tender side. Even though these are tough folks, Mrs. Fitz is a prime example of that tender side of just wanting to care for the family, the people around you who you love. So
Right,
she's grateful to Jamie for standing up for Leary. She's grateful to Claire for taking care of Jamie.
Amy. Yep.
Yeah.
She's like
Right.
the
Correct.
foster mom of the entire household, really.
Well,
She
she's
is.
related to everybody too. You have to remember that. She's related to everybody, you know?
Yes. Well, again, everybody's related to everybody, except
somewhere
Murtaugh's
along the way
not.
there, yeah.
Yeah, except Murtaugh's only related to Jamie.
No, Murdo's related to Miss Fitz too, because he's the Fitzgibbons.
That's right. What
See
am I
that?
thinking?
Fitzgibbons.
Yeah.
Fraser. Yeah.
I'm thinking of the men in the family, though. But yeah, you're right. You're right. My brain is not fully
And
formed.
between Rupert,
I mean,
yes,
where is he in the
Jamie's
Fitzgibbons? I guess I never realized that.
He's a cousin, I
Okay.
think, to her.
and
Okay.
between Rupert and Angus, Jamie's only related to one of them too, right?
Rupert, not Angus.
Rupert. Okay.
Yeah,
Right.
Rupert. Right. He says like distant cousin or something. He
Yeah,
says in
yeah.
in that episode. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I get it. I
So
get it.
yeah. So when it came to being Laird, he wouldn't even be considered. He's a distant family member,
Right.
which is why Dougal doesn't want to kill him.
Exactly.
He's such a jealous jackass.
Yeah,
Now
totally. He's just a jackass. Period.
we get through this insane day. Claire's ready to go home. Her bags are packed. Mrs. Fitz is set her up with a basket with cheese and food, and we're good for like a
Yeah.
week. All right,
Good,
let's
girl.
go. And Dougal's like, Colin wants to see you.
Yep.
And I don't know why, but the first couple of times I watched this where he's taking her down to the surgery, which I find interesting.
Yep.
He says, "Are you a beaten?" And for some reason I thought a beaten was like their word for healer, but no, beaten is a family and they have the best healers, or a clan and the best healer. So I'm only saying that because I'm slow on the uptake, and I literally thought it was a name for a doctor. Are you a beaten? Are you a doctor? Are you a physician? And I was wrong. I'm just going to point that out. So if anybody else thought that for a minute, you're not alone. But
And then Claire said, "Thank you for showing me all this. This is
Yeah,
very
yeah.
interesting. Thank you."
Yeah, she
Now
has
I
no
must
idea.
go." And he goes, "You're not going anywhere."
You're not
I
going
love that
anywhere.
part. Yeah, exactly. And she said, "Well," she says, "I'm a prisoner." And he goes, "Only if you try."
if you try to escape. Yeah.
You know, it's
That's
like,
what he
isn't that what a prisoner is?
Only
You
if you
dumbass.
try to. Mhm.
Come
Well, she
on.
has freedom on the grounds. I mean, she has freedom on the grounds, but if she tries to leave the grounds, I don't think
I'll
she'd
hunt
be
you
very,
down.
yeah, she'd be a lot of trouble. We do get more of
Well,
those
she does
edited
try.
flashbacks too, where we see her and Frank, just the
And
episode
Frank
before.
walking
Yeah.
into the surgeries. Yep.
Yeah.
Mhm. That was perfect. I
Yep.
love that. That was great the way they did that. It was great.
Does anybody else know if in the books do they explain any more about the beaten? Because I'm still stuck on the fact that he called it a surgery, and that just who else would
Well,
call it
he
a
was-
surgery at
His
that
name
time?
was Davy Beaton, and that's what he called it. It was his surgery. That's.
But I wonder where
evidently
he
they were
came
using
up with
it at
that
time.
name.
Maybe it was
that was-
something they were already using.
Oh, okay.
That was his family name, wasn't it? That was his family name.
Yeah.
Not the
She's talking
beaten
about the
part.
surgery.
Yeah, he literally calls
Why
it
they
as
call it a surgery?
surgery, and that is a modern term. That is a last
Oh,
century or
surgery.
more
I
term.
see.
I don't recall if that's something that would have been normally used
Yeah, I
in
don't
the
know.
18th century. So I'm
Surgery.
curious if yeah, I feel
I don't
like
know.
that's a clue that either never got answered or that
I
I'm
don't
just
know.
missing, which is also
Well,
quite possible.
I always thought Diana, she studied everything and researched everything.
Yeah.
So, I kind of think she put that in there. Is that what they call it in the book? They call
I
it a
don't
surgery
remember
in
to
the
tell
book?
you honest truth.
Because
I
I
don't
haven't
remember
read the
what they
book.
call it in the book.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't
I don't
either.
remember.
I mean, I just
Yeah.
remember Claire calling it that in the books, but I
Hmm.
don't remember that particular part in Outlander, the book, them calling it
Hmm.
that. I don't remember.
Okay.
Hmm. Hmm.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't
If
remember.
anybody out in YouTube world knows, please let us know because this
Hey,
is
check.
one of those things
Maybe
that
someone's answering
irritates
your
me.
question in the chat. Did you check the chat and see if
No, they
anybody
don't
answered?
like me. They don't want to talk. I'm just kidding. No, I was trying to be. Let's see. Jan Mason wants to let us know that for $75, we too can have our own crocheted whiskey bottle. That is a really good price. Tell her she
Seriously?
needs to double that sucker.
Oh,
Kathy
you got
Slavic
that,
says
huh? Okay.
after car camping to see Sam. Glad I changed my clothes. Yeah, you would have been freezing if you weren't. Yeah, that's this cold. Jan says again, love the scene when she looks at his bullet wound. She takes the scarf off his neck and unbuttons his shirt. He looks at her, and I'm going to tab her and kiss her. Okay, I don't know what tab her. TAB. Tab her and kiss her. Yeah, he wants. Yeah, yes. Jen is always very, very happy with the scenes where Jamie loses his shirt.
I think that's
I'm
not this
late.
episode either. That's not this episode either.
Yeah, in front of
No,
the
Yeah, I was
fire,
thinking
he's
that.
Oh, you
taking
mean
the
in front of the
scarf
fire?
off
no,
and changing
she's
his.
thinking of the
Isn't
next one.
I think she's thinking
okay?
of the next episode
She's
because
thinking
that's
of
not
the
She's
this
next one.
episode either.
Jan's mind is stuck on
I can do
shirtless
that
Jamie.
one.
We're gonna let her be there.
Okay.
Oh, surgery.
Yes.
What is it, Melissa?
All right. It comes from Greek, and I cannot say the name, but it's means handwork, and so
Oh,
they would have known that back then because it's based on a Greek word.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So,
So
Even
that's
in the
we
old.
we.
17th,
That's ancient.
17th
Ancient
century.
Greek.
Okay.
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Ancient Greek.
I'm so
Just changed
sorry.
what that word meant then, right? Because now surgery means something different.
Yeah.
Yeah, it means
That.
actually cutting
So
and
when
doing
did we
with your
take it over
hands,
and make
though.
it different?
Yeah. Exactly.
And
That makes sense. Yeah. Definitely.
so
Interesting.
everybody,
But
scores, hold up your hands because we're running very low on time. It's my fault. We got all
I love this
sidetracked with
episode.
surgery.
It was awesome to get
Five,
to know what
five,
was happening. Five,
five.
I'm a
five kills
5.
for me. Five
I'm a
kills.
5. Yes. Definitely
Uh,
a 5.
Oh yeah.
all
These
right.
early these early episodes were all
Loved
5s.
five kills.
Yeah.
Season 1 was all 5s. Oh, I'm going
Yeah.
ahead. I'm sorry. I won't go ahead.
You're all right. You're all right. We're going to get cut off, though. So I do want to just make sure I say thank you to you guys for joining me again.
Yeah,
Thank you
and
It's always
guys.
Katie,
fun.
you asked
Nice seeing you,
really
Melissa
fast.
and Diane.
Katie, did you get to see your father?
I did on
Katie?
Saturday. I will update on that
Good.
tomorrow when I have more time to chat about it. But thank you for
Good.
asking. Thank you guys for, I thank everybody again for the well wishes for my dad and for my uncle. My cousin goes, my dad's in the hospital too. We're like, no. We can't all be doing this at the same time. This is insanity.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
but everybody's improving slowly. My uncle probably more so than my dad right now, but doing well. Thank you so much for asking. Thanks for joining me again. Don't forget to send
Anytime.
in your requests for whatever episode you'd like to chat on next. I will show you guys my list in tomorrow's video so you can see where you are and what you want to add yourselves
Okay.
to.
Okay.
Love you guys.
Thanks, Katie.
You know, I'm
Thank
up,
you.
up for all.
And that happens to us every time. I want to say thank you to everybody, and there just isn't enough time. There's too many people. How many people? Am I satisfied with this? No, because you keep cutting me off. But no, this actually works pretty decently. I don't want to talk about it though. Thank you guys for joining us. Yet another silly chat about a show that we enjoy that has a shirtless guy named Sam in it. If you enjoyed this video, I don't blame you, but you should give it a like. And if you want to see more videos like it, then you should definitely Get yourself subscribed, hit the notifications bell so you know when new stuff comes out. If you want to check out the videos I put out today, because I did put out two. One is a viewer's view of those winter tour gatherings. The one in Colorado is the one featured for most of it. And if you would like other Outlander information, you just go check my playlists. We also have our couple next door reviews, which are just as silly as these. So please enjoy whatever you find, and no matter what video you choose, you know what? I will. Well, you can't see me now, but I'll see you there. I swear. And don't forget, tomorrow's videos are live at 2:30 Eastern Standard Time. Have a great night, guys. Thank you, Kathy. Thank you, Stacy. Thank you, Jan. Thank you, Kat. Sorry, I keep calling you Kathleen. It's Kat. And everybody else who took a moment to post a comment. Love you guys, and I will